Between 1996 and 2001, women in Afghanistan had to watch their rights diminish before them under the Taliban rule.
Maybe I've been here too long, but I'm not very hopeful about the future here either.
All females were banned from studying at schools, universities, or any other educational institution.
In the year 2000, adult literacy rates were 43.1% for men and 12.6% for women.
In the novel A Thousand Splendid Suns, Babby always told Layla how important her education was, but due to the horrible and tragic events taking place in Kabul, it was no longer safe for Layla to walk or engage within the school.
According to Afghanistan's constitution, adopted in January 2004, education is the right of all citizens, both men and women, and up to a certain level is free of charge.
Education in Afghanistan has greatly improved since the Taliban were overthrown in late 2001. According to recent estimates from Afghanistan's Ministry of Education, more than 5.4 million children are enrolled in schools, with nearly 35% of them being girls.
In the final pages of the novel, the Taliban was no longer in full control of Kabul. Layla became a teacher at the orphanage, and Aziza and Zalmay became students. Women in Kabul and Afghanistan began to slowly earn their rights back and were able to attend school and maintain jobs.
Under the Taliban rule, all female personnel, including physicians, nurses, pharmacists, and technicians, were prohibited from working in the 22 hospitals in Kabul.
Taliban officials began enforcing a previously ignored policy of segregating male and female medical patients into different hospitals in September 1997.
The single medical facility where women were permitted contained only 35 patient beds. Clean water, electricity, oxygen, and surgical and diagnostic equipment were not available.
Not only could women not become doctors themselves, they were not allowed to be seen by a male doctor. Women's hospitals had little to no medical supplies, making an important event like childbirth in Layla's case unbelievably painful.
Women were forbidden from going into public unless accompanied by a close male relative. For women whose husbands and other male relatives died in the Civil War, they were unable to seek medical care for themselves or their children since there were no exceptions. Women were denied basic rights such as the right to vote, the right to inheritance, the right to work, and even the right to choose their own partners in marriage. They had to rely on men to survive, when it was common that husbands, fathers, and brothers were the ones denying them of these rights during the rule of the Taliban.
One in 3 Afghan women experienced physical, psychological, or sexual violence.
Husbands, much like Rashid, got away with abusing their wives. Running away from a husband was not acceptable, yet they allowed women to live with psychotic husbands who put them through lashing of belts, rocks in the mouth and forced to chew, as well as punches, kicks, and strangling. Layla and Maryam both received an unthinkable amount of abuse from Rashid, risking their lives each time of a beating.
44 years is the average life expectancy rate for women in Afghanistan, compared to the Canadian women's life expectancy of 83 years.
70 to 80% of women face forced marriages in Afghanistan.
Maryam's father gave her away to marry Rashid. Maryam was given no say whatsoever in the marriage. She was forced to proceed with the wedding to become Rashid's wife. Maryam was a 15-year-old girl when she was handed to a mid-40-year-old man. This marriage prevented Miriam from a youthful childhood, her biological family, or what she had left of it. Also, it pulled Miriam away from any chance of education or finding a husband herself. She was sent off with her new husband to live a life as a housewife and was forced to obey Rashid.
Women were required to wear burqas, body-length garments that have only a small screened-over opening through which to see and breathe. Burqas cost about $9 Canadian, which is the equivalent of an average monthly salary in Kabul, and significantly more than any Afghan women can afford.
She's a very outgoing person. She likes to go and walk around, and she just take off and go.
When she's bored, she's going to the playground. There is the swing, and she loves to swing. As a child, she loves it.
So whatever is I liked from childhood, I still like that. Day by day, she's getting more comfortable. Yeah, obviously everybody has moments, you know. We all know it that one.
I think all the time why this thing happens to me, why they cut my ear and nose. If I had my nose, I could have my life now.
This is 19-year-old Bibi Aisha. It was her husband who cut off her nose and ears. Forced into marriage.
Born in a village in southern Afghanistan, Aisha was forced into marriage at a young age. In a tradition known as Bad, she was given as payback for a crime committed by someone else in her family. After years of abuse from her in-laws, Aisha ran away but was caught. She spent months in prison. Her father-in-law retrieved her, and with her Taliban husband and others, brutally cut off her nose and ears. She appeared on the cover of Time and was brought to the U.S. for reconstructive surgery. But she was deemed too emotionally fragile to undergo the procedures. Almost 2 years later, she has settled with an Afghan family who wants to give her the life she never had and the tools to become independent.
She's very injured. And I wonder how people injure somebody like this. Aisha is living with us for the past 4 months. We are trying to support her to become independent in her life.
Why didn't you say it in English? You can say it better than English.
Study, land. The police officer.
She wants to be a police officer. That's what she wants to be.
She loves justice, and she thinks she found it by police and officers and soldiers. I love police officer.
Aisha had arrived in America more traumatized than anyone had anticipated.
Or somebody wants to kill me, or somebody following me. Every second night she has this kind of dreams.
For more than a year, a strong support system of women surrounded her. They included teachers, a therapist, and other volunteers with an organization called Women for Afghan Women. But still, Aisha struggled to find a sense of belonging. In late 2011, she asked to move in with the family who cares for her now. This step, taken of her own initiative, was seen as a sign of growth. But progress is slow, and Aisha's past is not easily overcome.
She's a fighter, a typical fighter. That's what I like in her. It's also hard for me, you know, but I like, as a woman, she is a good fighter.
What are we practicing? I'm practicing classroom. Practicing English at the time.
Most of the day she's watching per computer the Indian movies.
And she does have a hobby, making a jewelry.
For the first time she started to do jewelry in jail in Afghanistan.
If I get married, first I have to be capable of to stand on my 2 feet.
He said, if my husband tell me something, I will kick him in the house and I will go out from the house and say, I will not live with you anymore.
That means I can take care of myself. Then Shah Rukh Khan will come and say, hi.
Salman Khan. Yeah, this is the movie star.
It's Aisha Khan.
It was painful when you see such a nice young girl and she's scared from pen because she doesn't know what to do with it. And now she's confident. She writes all over her names, you know, on the table. I told her, you don't do that, you know, on the table. Aisha Muhammad Zahid. She liked it.
So which do you like? Do you like Miss Mohamadzai or Ms. Mohamadzai? You like Miss. Okay, so we can...
She is interested to learn the language. She's doing her homework. She's going to the English class.
Sing English. Oh, very nice. We're in 70s. 70s. Okay, let's count 70.
I am from Afghanistan.
Where is the wall?
Yes.
That's good. Very good. Sounds like Pashto kind of?
Yeah.
What are your words?
Classroom.
Classroom. Good. Perfect. Please, Aisha. Okay.
A good teacher.
Oh, a good student.
We treat her like our own. She's part of this family.
At the dinner time, we are all together. We talk about some small thing, how was our days. And she talk also, she share her mind, her opinion. She sees how the people have the relationship with each other, the respect, all the stuff, what routine you need in your daily life.
The family hopes Aisha will soon get the surgery to rebuild her nose and ears. If she does, it will be a grueling and complicated process that could take up to 2 years to finish. Aisha and the whole family have a long road ahead of them.
I'm not scared. I mean, it's a little bit scared, my nose. And it's a kharabi right during again.
See, I worry that I hope they give me a very nice nose.
The goal is that she become, after the surgery, independent.
To be a productive member of the society. And she would be a best spokesperson for all the women, you know, been through such a thing, and hopefully to make proud everybody, us and everybody else. And she'd be a good person.